You are proceeding full speed ahead towards the moment of awakening. January 21, 2015. Here in the spiritual realms, as we maintain our loving watch over you, we observe with additional joy your exemplary progress towards your awakening. Even your mainstream news media are now finding themselves unable to completely ignore the amazing changes that are occurring all across your world, and nor are they able to avoid reporting on the waves of corruption and criminal activities that had been concealed and are now being disclosed at all levels of government. The truth of your enslavement to corrupt business and governmental rules and regulations can no longer be hidden from you, because of the courageous activities of many investigative journalists, and of the whistleblowers who have the courage to speak out. Enormous changes are occurring worldwide as humanity moves out from under the weight of rules and regulations imposed by your authoritarian governments. Governments that mostly would attempt to persuade you that they are truly democratic institutions who have only your best interests at heart, when in fact they are mostly dishonest kakistocracies attempting to keep you permanently in subservience to them. Dishonest government on such a vast scale can no longer be maintained. The cracks in its foundations and in its various autocratic institutions are bringing it to its knees. Unsupported by its citizens, the citizens of the world, as is now the case, it will continue to collapse into total disarray. Over the years it has often been referred to as the Dark Cabal. It is composed of and directed by hidden and secretive groups of influential and wealthy families all over the world who have for eons placed themselves above the law. As is becoming increasingly clear, they have lost their grip and are reduced to fighting among themselves in desperate attempts that ultimately will be unsuccessful, to maintain their power and influence. You have entered a new age, one in which love is recognized as the power and the energy that gives you life and consciousness. Anything that is not of love, not in total alignment or harmony with love, always disintegrates into the nothingness or illusory realm from which it arose, because, as you know, there is only love, there is nothing else. Of course, I need hardly remind you that love is not a sentimental feeling for or attraction to another, but is the life force or energy field that is God, our eternal source in which all that exists arises eternally in every moment. It is a constant state of arising into the ecstasy that is the presence of God. It is what all of humanity seeks, but owing to its immersion into the depths of the illusion is unable to find. Reason and logic, which are, like time, aspects of the illusion, can never lead you into the presence of God because you are already eternally enveloped by the divine presence. You are where you are so desperately seeking to be, but by the intensity of that seeking, you are hiding from yourselves the divine reality which contains and embraces you, constantly in every moment. To return to reality, just surrender into the center of your being, that holy sanctuary within each one of you where the divine flame of God's love burns eternally. Truly you are already where you so desperately want to be. You have just blocked your awareness of your true state of existence by your choice to engage with the illusion, and with all the suffering, chaos, and mayhem with which it presents you continually. When you allow yourself to relax into that inner sanctuary, accepting without judgment each now moment as it arises, and allowing all thoughts that float into your awareness to float away with the current of that now moment, you will find a level of peace that is otherwise totally absent when you are engaged with or occupied by the distractions of the illusion. Many of you have experienced moments of intense peace when meditating, then your egoic mind has rushed in to try and define and describe what happened, and that moment of peace is lost. Peace cannot be found or achieved or reached. It is your natural state, the state of being in the now moment, accepting yourself, being fully aware of that self now, and from which your ego tries to shield you by distracting you with thoughts that appear to demand your immediate and undivided attention. It often seems that you are your thoughts, but this is not the case. Thoughts appear and move on unless you choose to engage with them. In daily life, you frequently do engage with them as you go about your chores because they are part of life in the illusion, and in that context they do need your attention as you focus on your work, your employment, or your family. I must not forget to complete that report by Friday. Whose turn is it to collect the children? I must arrange to get my hair done. but you are not those thoughts, and although you may not be able to stop the flow, you can choose not to engage with them when they are not serving you. It has become an unconscious habit for many of you to think and think and think, in an endless series of mind-numbing engagements with thoughts as each seemingly leads inevitably into the next. You need to say to yourself stop, and then let go. At first just saying stop is likely to take you off along another string of thinking, but once you become aware that you are not your thoughts and that you can stop the flow, even if only momentarily, then you have broken their hold on you. You have become aware of your own ego and its apparent hold over you. You are all very well aware of everyone else's egos. Once aware, you can practice disengagement, and when you do, your stress reduces and you begin to access that inner state of peace that is always available to you. Sometimes, when you go to your quiet and private inner space to relax, pray, or meditate, an incredibly intense flow of judgmental thoughts fills your mind, and then the time you set aside for that quiet moment is suddenly gone. You find that you now have to return to the real world and get back to work. Do not berate yourselves when this happens, and do not decide that taking time out is not worth the effort because you always get caught up in the inner war with which your thoughts invade your mind when you set the intent to be quiet and at peace for a few minutes. This is just an egoic ploy to persuade you that you are wasting your time, that meditation, prayer, or quiet contemplation are not for you. Do not be persuaded. That quiet downtime is absolutely essential for your well-being. That intended quiet time is the time when you can, for a moment, dissolve the illusion, and be at peace. You do not have to try, just sit quietly and be aware of the stillness. Trying is an egoic distraction that cannot work. It is the opposite of relaxing, of allowing. Persist in your daily practice, discount all negative self-judgments, just make a point of sitting quietly each day, regardless of how effective or ineffective it may feel. In this new age, you are receiving enormous assistance from those of us in the spiritual realms whose task it is to watch over you and be there for you in every moment. The tsunami of love enveloping you all continues to intensify to encourage and ensure your awakening. You cannot fail to awaken because it is your divine destiny. You chose to incarnate at this moment in Earth's history, at this point in the illusion, because you chose to come and assist the vast majority of humanity that has remained asleep, to awaken from their slumber. This is the time for humanity's inevitable awakening from the illusion in which it has been submerged for so long. You who are reading this, and other similarly uplifting messages from your guides and mentors in the spiritual realms, are not here by chance. You chose to be here, and you are fully supported in every moment. Those slight intuitive feelings you get that lead you to behave more lovingly are part of your life plan. You planned those intuitive feelings and insights as personal reminders because you knew that life in the illusion was going to be difficult because of your amnesic state, and so you planned to be reminded intuitively from time to time, and to receive wake-up calls so that you would not lose your way. And you have not lost your way. You are proceeding full speed ahead towards the moment of awakening, just as you planned, and nothing can prevent or derail that plan. Your awakening, humanity's awakening, is divinely guaranteed, and therefore it will happen. You can count on it. Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman2.wordpress.com